Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time.
You know, my wife, as we bring in Bernie Kosar here, my wife said to me this morning, she says, what's going on the show today? I said, well, Bernie's going to be in studio. And she said to me, is Bernie Jewish? And I said, you know, unfortunately, he's not. Because I'm like, we need one good Jewish quarterback. There are none. The best Jewish quarterback, well, Sid Luckman, but that was 1,000 years ago.
BYU kid, right?
What's that?
Isn't there a college quarterback?
Yeah, he's called the BY Jew.
BYU, yeah.
Isn't that odd that a quarterback of all colleges goes to BYU, the Jewish quarterback? But I'm like, everybody probably thinks you're Jewish because your name is Bernie. That's a lot of, like, most people ain't Bernie, you're Jewish.
I got asked a lot.
We want you in the club, Bernie.
Well, I'm a little down on Catholicism and the Catholic Church right now, so I'm open. I'm a free agent right now from some of the past scarring in that.
Yeah.
And actually, you mentioned Sid Luckman.
Yeah.
I don't want to give my ex-wife too much credit, but her family lineage is related to the great Sid Luckman.
Oh, that's funny.
Bernie, let's ask the real question here.
Yeah.
We're playing the Chiefs. Taylor Swift probably going to be in town.
Oh,
He's going to be in the box with her.
Oh, yeah, Bernie knows her.
You know what?
Like
Paul Zadati, the lead guitarist, is coming to do a little of the pregame. I think that's been announced, and I hope it has been. If not, I think I just said it. But Paul, being from Cleveland, being their lead guitarist for many years with Taylor, I think is doing a little pregame stuff.
Oh, nice.
From on the weekend and that. But you know, you think about it, you guys from traveling and stuff. The reality, and I don't have any inside scoop on it, but the reality when we travel to other teams and playing, that Travis comes in, probably the Chiefs get in 3, 4 o'clock. We have meetings and stuff and curfew at 11, and then they ship us out right after the game. So the reality that, you know, that you have time to hang out isn't really there. So I think the expectation that she's going to show for a 3-10 football game in 0-degree weather.
This is a wild question. This just has nothing to do with nothing we ever talk about. Who's the most famous person you got in your phone?
Oh my God, he's got so many.
You know what? I've been really blessed. I don't know because I've had my phone hacked, so somebody else has a really good database right now too.
Are there any presidents in there?
I've been super blessed too.
He's not spilling the beans.
I've been all of them. I've met all. I mean, that's one of the perks of being, whether you're a D or R, and I know it's super sensitive right now, but I mean, to be honored to have met just about all of them since Ronald Reagan.
Wow.
It's been super cool, man.
You matter.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah,
you definitely matter.
Literally, to go to President Reagan, the Bushes, both of them, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama.
That's
crazy. It's really an honor to get those opportunities.
And he pulling up on us. And he in our studio.
Yeah. Bernie,
shout out to you.
I'm curious. You know, yesterday, Joe Burrow talked about his home was robbed when he was at Monday Night Football in Dallas. And we've seen this a few times lately with players' homes getting broken into while they're on the road. These guys, especially the quarterbacks, are such big celebrities. You know where they are, right? Like, and he talked about like he was feeling very upset about his privacy being, because there was some girl there and the whole thing got made out of it. Obviously, there wasn't the coverage of things when you played, but did you worry about things like that, your security and stuff like that when you played?
So I've been hitting the head a lot, so I'm still stuck on the last question.
Okay.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I didn't want to just drop names, but I mean, back in the day, my house was secure because President Reagan was cool and let me take a nap in the Lincoln bedroom. So
are you serious?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun back.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Did you find the secret JFK tunnels at the White House or what?
No, I was napping in the Lincoln bedroom.
This guy just passed out. Like, this is crazy.
That's breaking news.
This
right
is
there.
crazy.
Bernie slept at the White House.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to pause that. You got to. That sounds wild.
It do sound crazy.
That sounds crazy.
He had done the movie The Gipper.
Yeah.
And I actually got to throw him a few passes in the Oval Office. And
How was he? Did he have good hands or?
Well, I'd like to say the throw was perfect, bro. It dropped right in his pocket. I mean,
That's your friend,
I'm not
bro.
hurting the president.
Your
dog.
friend. Did he
I'm asking him if President Reagan had good hands catching the ball.
I mean,
you don't have to make something perverted about that.
I mean, you got to add something to
All
that.
right, let me get us back on track. Bernie, obviously.
Wait, hold on.
Hey, but
Let's get back to my question.
But to the Joe Burrow one, I actually saw his interview. I saw Tua's. I'm down in Florida now with some of the stuff that health and wellness wise with some of the hurricanes and dolphins that we work on with that. And that's actually sad what it's going on.
Yeah.
And you tend not to make PR of it because it tends to bring more of it on you.
Yeah.
And heck, I'm still going through this to this day. I mean, when I'm out and showing social media, doing things like that you think is cool, and then my house gets hit, not as bad as Burrow's, and I don't have the disposable coin in there anymore, and I'm being older. Most of my stuff has been stolen already, so the choice of what you got to steal is limited. And I say that in levity, but that's really the truth. I've been shook down so many times. My stuff's been clipped. It ain't even worth stealing from me anymore. There's
Leave
not
Bernie
much
alone.
shit in there, okay? But literally, it's a shame that it's happening in that magnitude. And those guys got real stuff in there on top of their families and stuff.
Scary.
And we're not capable. I mean, we're capable of taking care of ourselves with good teammates. On the field. And that doesn't translate to off the field. And I'm a good example of that. I could take care of my teammates on the field. It's more challenging off the field. And unfortunately, that's a big thing.
Isn't that how Sean Taylor died?
Yeah.
Sean,
Somebody was robbing. He was supposed to.
He wasn't. They
Joe
didn't.
Jaravicious.
He was supposed to travel.
God hit it a couple times at night. Sean, look, God, we love us. Not just because he's a Cane, but he was a great guy. Well, and for him, he wasn't supposed to be there. He thought it was a bye weekend, and he happened to just come there.
Will Smith, right?
Will Smith.
That was a car.
But he got into a fight. I mean, it wasn't his house getting broken
It was
into,
an
but
altercation in vehicles.
Yeah.
It's super sad, man. Let's not talk about sad things.
Yeah, let's get on the lighter.
up.
Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns.
Perk us up.
Before we go, sorry guys. Before we go to the Browns, I do want to ask Bernie because he knows these guys. Belichick, Lombardi going to the Tar Heels, man. It's a crazy story. I'm intrigued by it.
Me too. I mean, and just to take the Canes perspective as a U guy in the ACC and stuff, from the overall college football fan and the way college football is altering and it is changing, I think they're going to crush it at North Carolina. I think he's going to be exceptional down there. I think it's exceptional for their program. I think it's exceptional for the kids. And he's going to put together a high-end professional football team.
If this were 20 years ago, this would be impossible because you couldn't build a team overnight. And Belichick now can do that.
Yeah.
I said to somebody yesterday, I'm like, I think he'll have success because this college football is so much more like the pros than it's ever been in terms of roster management. You got to allocate funds, resources to certain players, to certain areas of the program. And that's what they're used to. Lombardi's used to that. Now, you get your younger people, so that's a little bit different, but still a similar kind of setup.
And it's even better for these guys because, like in the real pros of the NFL, you actually got contracts and salary caps you got to live by. In college right now, you could wipe away your sins if you sign the wrong guy.
Right.
The next year, you could undo that.
Does North Carolina have the money to compete?
Oh,
with the
they're
big
going to
boys?
have. North Carolina's loaded.
You ever been to Chapel Hill?
And
No.
It's beautiful.
They got a guy named Michael Jordan.
I was about to say,
yeah, they're gonna support the NIL program, and I believe that like one of the things with the NFL for these guys, why they kind of screw up, is you only get one pick in the first round. Now these guys could snag whoever they want, so they could take multiple like top tier guys and Bill and I think Mike Lombardi are going to do a really good job of finding those guys.
Nobody thought Colorado would be good.
Right.
I
I mean,
don't.
they've been bad forever, and Dion, obviously different style than Belichick, but turned it around.
I will.
But they're not championship level.
I think
They were damn near playing in the playoff.
you know. Is it true that
Their win total was sorry. Their win total this year was like 4 wins.
Yeah.
They won 9
That is
games.
amazing.
It's kinda
That is
crazy.
amazing, yeah.
Shador Sanders is special.
Is it true that Bill got in his contract that when he's gone, the job goes to his son?
I don't know. I know there was rumors about that.
So I
that
don't
is
know
true,
if it's
but
in
I'll
the contract, but I could see, hey, that's the type of stuff you could pull off now. And,
Yeah.
and
See, but my thinking behind that is, what if he did this, signed this, NFL job opens up, he wants it, boom, he takes it, his son takes over North Carolina, he never coaches there.
I don't know.
I think he coaches there. I think Belichick.
Wouldn't that be unbelievable? Mastermind move.
I personally think that this is a move by Belichick to cement his legacy as the greatest football coach
right,
of all time.
Right, yeah.
Right, because if he has success
Because
in North
the Saban
Carolina,
argument is Saban's the greatest, obviously college football coach of all time. Also, you can make the argument greatest football coach of all time, although he had the year and a half in Miami.
which was a disaster.
Disaster. We
Yeah.
know that. But this is a chance for Belichick to prove that I can do it at any level.
Yeah, I think
Urban Meyer also.
I do, but look, I do believe Bill could do it at any level. His attention to detail, just why I believe Nick Saban was head and shoulders above the rest of us, is he can handle the macro and the leadership, but this at the end of the day, especially you as the DBs, bro, he just knows footwork, angles, where to touch, where to grab, where to hit. And one of the things that's, I believe, missing in college, high school, and pros now is the attention to detail of where to put your hand placements, where your foot placements is. God, Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, they're the man with that
And for
stuff.
those who are saying he can't relate to young people, he's dating a college student. So
Yeah.
he's with it.
Couple things. I don't know why I got so many takes on this. I'm excited
ahead.
about this whole
Yeah.
thing. But, when it comes to Belichick, so many of these coaches, I talk to them all the time, every week. A lot of coaches in college football are scared to coach guys because if you push a player, the guy may leave.
Right.
Do you think Belichick's going to be scared to coach an 18-year-old kid hard? He's gonna, get your ass out of here. I'll find somebody else.
Exactly.
Like, that's how
Don't
he'll
come
do it.
here if you're not going to be coached hard.
Right.
That'll be told up front.
a good
And
point.
you're right. A lot of guys now were afraid. Just like I'm afraid to yell at my kids. They'll block you. You're gonna yell at a football player. Oh, I can't yell at them. They're gonna leave.
Yeah.
And there are.
And the last thing I'll say about this, and then we can talk some Browns, is that when people look at Belichick, stop reading, and coaches in general, stop going to Wikipedia and be like, oh, he's 72. Bro, I played tennis a month ago with a guy, and I said, are you 60 yet? He goes, try 75. What? I mean, so my point is the age don't matter. The dude's into the game. He's healthy. He's sneaking out of dorm rooms with these young chicks.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
dorm rooms,
See how
apartments.
he managed his
I mean,
curfew.
the guy's 70 years old doing the walk of shame.
Yeah. That's
You think this
crazy.
guy can't go out and coach some kids?
You got to get a driver. Get you a driver, Bill.
Hey, is it a walk of shame north of 70 though, or a walk of pride?
I think it'd be
No,
something
that's a pride belt
I mean,
right
it's
there.
creepy and impressive at the same time.
You're assuming it worked.
Oh,
He's
man.
getting some. He's
I don't know. I'm
he's
excited
taking
about
some
it.
little blue pills.
I'm
Let's
excited
be
about
honest
UNC
about it. All right,
football.
let's get to the Browns here, Bernie. Obviously, it's not exciting to talk about them because they're horrible. But in this last month of the season, I want to ask what they have to play for. You didn't play on a lot of bad teams. You were mostly on really good teams, so you weren't in this situation. But
Yeah.
what do you do? Like, how do you motivate yourself in this final month when there's nothing to play for, at least in terms of the standings?
Yeah, the attempt at motivating yourself, and I just thank you, God, that I didn't have this situation
Yeah.
a lot of times to where this became a routine. Like, it's tending to become a routine here the first 24 years of this new century. Now we're a quarter of a way through it and still talking about similar things like this.
Yep.
From a coaching perspective and a player perspective, it's job preservation right now. You have to have, yes, it's personal pride, but even if you don't have personal pride in what you're doing, you have to have professional selfish pride. Look, I like coming to see you guys and doing this show. You want to show up and be good and intelligent so you can keep doing a show. You want to keep playing professional football and have Tuesdays off and making north of $1 million a month. Well, then you got to really suck it up and play. And the holidays are a time when the brain Okay. Okay. I take a little bit of offense. You guys haven't done it, but there's been some of us older guys that have said a couple weeks ago, hey, we're proud of the way the team's playing. We're proud of their effort. Oh, heck, we're pros, okay?
Proud of the effort.
I'm not proud of it. The effort should be there. That's a given.
Yeah.
But, you know, the last couple weeks, we've seen awesome effort. I believe we'll see awesome effort again this week. It tends to dissipate, though, right as you get to New Year's and Christmas, and when you're able to start flying out. And that's those last 2-3 games. You don't want to see Myles Garrett get an Achilles or something bad, but as guys from an organization, you want your stars to get through it. But yet, you got to have guys. Most guys aren't going to be here next year. I mean, you're gone. Okay, so you need to really make them want to keep you, so that you could show you're part of the solution, not part of the problem. And right now, they're looking for people that are part of the problem. So you got to show that you're part of the solution.
Would you bring back Ken Dorsey next year, or would you sort of revert back to Kevin Stefanski, given if you say, I'm going to bring Jameis Winston back, right? If Jameis is back, do you think they'll revert back to Kevin Stefanski, or do you think Ken Dorsey will still be here?
So good question, fair question. I really think it depends on how the draft position is and what we're going to do at quarterback. I am all in on Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. Okay, I believe they're 1, 2 or 3. And so for us right now, our record says we're the 8th pick in a draft. But 1 or 2 keep losing, and some other teams win, and you get it close, and you have a chance for those guys. That's one set of offense that I really believe then it's imperative that we know what our personality is offensively. So know who our quarterback is, young-wise, what you're going to do. And if you got a Shedeur Sanders, that may be different than the me mode, me and the Joe Flacco type mode. Cam Ward, I'm not exactly sure if he would have to go all shotgun like he has at the U. I'm not a fan of all shotgun, so I absolutely think that Cam should alter his game into some under center stuff that I believe the Browns, Ken Dorsey, and Kevin Stefanski's system would be great at from that perspective.
Do you want to see DTR at some point this season?
So I said last week on the show, yes is the short answer. And I did say last week on the show and been saying I'm really impressed with how Jameis Winston has played. So, yeah, I want to see DTR. Yeah, I've seen, and I like what Jameis has done. Yeah, the interceptions are there. But he makes us look like a real offense for the first time this year. And I am so into not picking a young quarterback, okay, and putting him to be like Caleb Williams, the play right off the gate. And I believe that I had better success because I didn't play till week 6. Patrick Mahomes missed his whole first year, didn't play. Tom Brady really didn't play. Rodgers, Love. So that's so to have a guy like Jameis that's there to bridge that, and or DTR, and you can't bank on DTR unless we played him some these last couple games. So maybe it's not this week, obviously, but I would give him a couple weeks shot at seeing what he does, just so we know.
Lamar also didn't play right away. It was into his first season. Now, Burrow played right away, so did Josh Allen. But anyway, I want to play this clip, Bernie. Speaking of quarterbacks.
Well, we lose more quarterbacks than we gain with that early play, and we can't afford to.
You're 100% right.
You know,
especially if you play them. Like there are some guys probably that are ready to go right away.
Yeah, you maybe, but you'd rather err on the side of being a little tardy because we're not looking like even 2025 we're a Super Bowl team.
And the Browns have, it feels like, have forced guys in there.
Yeah, not just the Browns, but
but a lot
you're
of
right.
teams,
We have, and when you do that, look at the Bears that did it with Trubisky, a mentor high school guy. I don't want to see that with our team, and I get bluntly, I don't like seeing it with young quarterbacks.
It feels like it happened with Bryce Young. He's finally starting to come out of it a little bit, but
That's
definitely.
a perfect example.
Yeah,
Put him on a bad team in a
Right.
bad situation with no offensive personality, and that's a recipe for disaster.
I want to play a clip for you, Mike. Do we have this clip?
Yeah, we do.
So your buddy and our buddy Leroy Horde was on with us yesterday, and I thought
he doesn't have an earpiece. He's not gonna be able to hear it.
Set it up. You set it up and everything, bull.
Well, all right, we can't play it. Leroy,
Was it edited out? Is that why we can't play it?
No, you don't have an earpiece.
you can't hear it because you don't have an earpiece. But so let me kind of sum up what Leroy said. He made an interesting point about Jameis, and said his biggest problem with Jameis is that he feels like that Jameis doesn't have a feel for what type of game it is. You know, in other words, sometimes you got to throw 1,000,000 times and throw for 500 yards or 400 yards to win like he did in Denver. But there are other times when you play in the Pittsburgh Steelers and a more, like they have a better defense, a more conservative offensive approach, that you got to be able to take that check down more often and not look to force the ball down the field as much. And that Leroy thought Jameis just didn't have a feel, and then he got impatient and forced things in that game, and that's what leads to a lot of his turnovers.
So I love how Jason handles himself. He threw for 497 yards against Denver, and what was the first thing he said was, damn, I didn't play good. I could have played better.
Yeah.
He played really great against Denver. And then I love, albeit there are definitely issues in the Steeler game I didn't like and stuff. We all didn't. But I love, again, how he went right up front. God, I was too tentative. I didn't want to make some mistakes. And then by not making mistakes, I missed throws. And I had a couple picks. And, again, I feel like I'm his marketing rep right now. I actually liked his second interception. Okay, the people were like, oh, there's Jameis being Jameis again, throwing it down the field.
Sean King said the same thing.
God, it was a cover 3, hit up the seam. Like, that's... I like Elijah Moore, and okay, so I really like him. But that's something where me and my receiver would really understand coming out of that break, coming around the hook slot guy. Okay, before your corner and safety get over, I actually, you should be turning your head and boom, the rock's on you. That wasn't as bad a throw as people think, and I see that throw, and I love that. And down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, you can't. That's when I actually loved what he did, because most of us still would check it down. Okay, let me load my stats. Okay, we'll lose by 1 score. I'll get a score in there.
Right.
That's exactly what Sean said, by the way.
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
that.
most of the
exactly
cues.
what
So
Sean
we
King
know
said.
how to hit the check down and manipulate it down, and while they're playing that passive cover 3 like that. But then we lose by 1 score, and that still made me sick. So I love how he actually took a shot with it. It held up. That holds up with the coverage. That's an excellent read. I know it's picked, so the result sucks, but it was really a good throw. And man, working with receivers, and I like our receiver coach, Chad O'Shea. Bend that baby in there, because in the old days, you safeties were allowed to wipe us out, okay? But now you're not allowed to even touch us. So I could throw it right there, and you're not getting decapitated. So catch it.
Let's face it. Also, they're playing DB because they can't catch.
They get decapitated.
Best athletes play DB, buddy.
And if you do, you get 15 yards, though. That's even better for me.
I have somebody pay that FedEx check.
Yeah.
What's his name? The guy on the who was the guy? Is he?
Shazier on the Texans?
Yeah, right.
It's a lot easier to catch the ball when they're throwing it to you.
By the way, real quick, you all played, all right?
All 4.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. My perspective, so everybody went nuts about that hit on Trevor Lawrence. For the guy who suspended him, John Runyon, said it was a dirty. John Runyon's made a million dirty hits. Okay,
I played with John Runyon.
right, dirty player.
I'm not gonna say he's a dirty player.
Well,
he was a grimy guy.
Yeah,
He had
exactly.
a lot of penalties.
So
Let's
he-
say that.
Everybody went nuts about that. Some people say he should be kicked out of the league.
I
didn't think it was as bad as everybody made it seem. I think it's groupthink. I'm not sure Trevor Lawrence slid late there. Nobody's considering that at all. I don't know. Am I wrong, or did you guys think it was terrible?
I think you don't get the benefit of the doubt when you've had multiple penalties
That's
like this.
fair.
And like if this were some random guy you've never heard of play DB, you'd be like, man, it was
Right.
it was close. I don't know if he
Yeah.
meant it. You wouldn't be like questioning the intent.
Right.
As much as this,
he's
we're
been
like,
in trouble
oh, there's, it's black or white.
It's like Draymond
period.
Green doing something. It's like
Exactly.
meant-
Great point.
Yeah,
you did that on
That
purpose.
guy doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. And
I'm more fixated on the John Runyon as the security judge.
Yeah, right.
And that's almost as humorous to me, and I'm getting too old to where the listeners probably don't find this as humorous, but that's also like Ronnie Lotzett
Right.
in charge of concussion treatments. I go,
Right.
bro, you gave me half of mine.
Yeah.
John
forearm.
John Runyon might be the one player that overlapped with both of us.
Yeah.
You might have played when you played and when I played.
forever.
Dude, that guy's been around
If
forever.
our fans don't know who Ronnie Lott is, then they got problems. I don't care how old you are.
Do you guys think that they should just say eliminate quarterbacks from running?
Yeah.
So they say you automatically have to slide. And if a quarterback does not slide, it's a 15-yard penalty. So eliminate the quarterback even being hit. He slides, you're down right there.
Yeah, but when does he have to slide?
You can't
By
really.
contact.
Can't do that.
It's so subjective.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a massive
I think
issue
your
for
idea
defensive guys.
is a good idea. Like
I think if quarterbacks fake a slide, that should be a penalty.
Kenny
it
Pickett.
is.
It is a penalty now.
Oh, it is a penalty.
Kenny
now.
Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett set the rule, man.
That, but
Yeah.
yeah.
did it at Pitt
Or you got to tag off on them like in practice. Tag off on them, you're down right there.
No, I think they teach the defensive player the correct way. You shoot at this body, and if he goes down, you should fly over the top.
Or honestly, that's not a bad idea. Just have you know how a quarterback is in practice. As soon as you come up to tag off,
He's down right there.
down right there.
I got a question for the defensive guys out there. They were talking about this exact conversation. I forget who said it, and I apologize for not giving them credit. But they said Lamar, part of the reason he doesn't slide but doesn't get big hits is when he's about to get tackled, he dives into the defender's knees. Because if he dives first, then the defense has to kind of get out the way so he avoids a ton of big hits. Is that
I didn't even know.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like Lamar,
dirty on the opposite side?
Lamar,
That's kinda smart.
Lamar Jackson playing three-dimensional chess
he's not
out
going out
here.
there like trying to hurt them. He's just
Right.
it's his way of avoiding getting clobbered.
Yeah, I mean, if you dive down, they're not going.
I mean, that's smart as
That's
heck.
really smart.
you
I
can't get lower than a dive. I mean, low man wins. They always
Ernie,
say,
what do you
right?
think about that? You and Lamar, there's not much difference
Well, as
athletic-wise.
a quarterback here, I'm just really feeling sorry for myself that I wasn't fast enough to
Yeah.
even consider diving at your legs.
Here's the question. Both you and Lamar in your primes, what yard line would you have to start at to beat him to the end zone?
Wow, I'd like to say that I only need a couple yard head start, but my Pinocchio nose would grow too much, bro. I think that's got to be a double-digit answer.
Yeah.
Double-digit
12,
yards.
13 yards?
Yeah,
I think
so.
your longest run was like almost. It was like 20,
It was
25
like
or
19,
26
22
yards.
or something.
Mine was it was a 2 deep, 5 under, man. It was like spreading of the
Yeah.
Red Seas that
And you ran up the
Moses
middle.
did. It was 22 yards. Yes.
23 yards, and the YouTube clip, Bernie, I'm sorry to do this to you, but the the YouTube headline is Bernie Kosar, parentheses, slow quarterback, longest run of his career.
And he was in the open too. Like,
If
he
I
was
started
tipping.
at the 50-yard line and Lamar started at the goal line, would I beat him to the next end zone?
No chance.
No,
None
not,
at all.
not a chance.
We would have 50-yard head start? No, I wouldn't.
No, not even
All right,
close.
what about from the 40? Like he has to go 60
You
more
couldn't run.
yards than
You
me.
couldn't
I
run
don't
50
think so.
yards in
I could.
9
Even in terrible shape, I could.
in 9 seconds. You couldn't.
Yeah, he did the
No.
Dustin,
So
before you joined the show.
Lamar's going to run the 100 yards
Yeah.
in under 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Around 10 seconds.
Marquise
So I'd
said-
have to
Marquise
go-
said
You got to
he
go
walked
50
you.
in under 10 seconds.
No, I can't do that.
No, you can't.
So from the 30?
40, you win.
You got him from the 30.
You'll beat him from the 30.
I think you might get him for the 40.
But
We
I'm
just don't
telling
want
you,
to pull tearing Achilles or anything.
Yeah, I definitely would hurt
what was the
something.
guy's name? The Freeze, Atlanta.
The
guy,
Freeze, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Oh, it's
when they do that.
fantastic.